Hey, you ever been to Chancellor Park? That's where I live. My name is Tavin Dillard. I live in Chancellor Park. I mow lawns, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. I sure am glad to join me here on this podcast. I want to let you know what's going on in my neck of the woods. Now, I started out years ago on the YouTubes and then the TikToks and the Instagrams now and the whatnots. I got the websites, the tavindillard.com, but right now, I want to clue you into what's happening in my neck of the woods on the Tavin Dillard podcast. You here? I'm here. I'm glad you joined me. Now I'm going to send it over to myself. This is like the pre-introduction, but let's get on to the real show today. I'm glad you joined me here. Bank, bank. Well, hey y'all guys, it's Tavin Dillard. You probably know that by now. We in season 9, episode 6 of the Tavin Dillard podcast. I sure hope your week's been good. You know, last least that we spoke on the podcast, it was the day before Valentine's, and now Valentine's already came and went kind of thing. And here we are, peekabooning into March here in a couple weeks. Boy, the spring's times, that's one of my favorite times of years. Of course, I like the summers too, and the falls times and the winters times. So the party just keeps going. I mean, if you look at it like that way. Did quite a few personal video greetings because, you know, the lawns have been dying or they've been dead. And, you know, the lawn mowing, I do what I can and help around folks' lawns and help, you know, Imogene Watkins put away her Christmas decorations and do little odds and ends, help out at the Nursin'Home. But them personal video greetings, I was recording them last week for folks. And so I appreciate y'all ordering them, and folks messaged me back after they got them. It was good to hear that folks liked them, and it was a hoot of a time for them and their Valentine's days. So I appreciate y'all. And speaking of the March that's coming up, you know, after February, that's how it line up. There's a couple big things, announcements. Now, I've been talking about the Town Map shirt. I put it to a vote this week. Folks voted on it on the Instagram stories, and also I texted y'all guys. If you got my number, you probably got a text from me. I said, hey, well, which one of these colors do you like? And folks, now here's the colors for the town map. You know the map I've been talking about where it shows where everything in town is, or most everything in town. My question was to y'all guys, you like this one? And it was a blue, kind of a darker blue shirt with a or medium blue, like it ain't light blue, but it ain't dark blue. It's like a royal blue, maybe. Maybe that's the name of the color we looking for. Anyhow, is that kind of blue with the white, you know, ink that makes, you know, that shows the town map. Then I had like a cream, I don't know, beige type of, like more like a map colored shirt with black ink on it. You know, and I think some folks are saying, well, the black ink it reads better, show up better on the shirt. But then I think somebody else might have said, no, show up better on the blue. Well, you know what I went and did? Now, I put it to a vote, and most people said the blue, and I think that was like a stain option. Like, you don't see as many stains on the blue shirt if you're eating a burger or whatever, or you having a wrestling match, than with like a lighter beige type of shirt. And I get that. Like, I'm with you because I'm a messy eater, and I ain't afraid to admit it. But what I ended up doing, talked to my buddy old Ryan at Rock City Outfitters. They do the shirts, and we gonna do them both. So March 1st, the town map shirt is going to be available. If you like the beige, the light cream, I don't know. Anyways, you'll see the color. Then that's available. If you like the blue, then that's available. You like them both? Well, they both available is what I'm saying. And the first 100 orders, when we launch this on March 1st, you get like a 4x4 sticker. So you get of the whole town map, the same artwork that's on the shirt. I was thinking about doing like, and I mentioned it, like a little map that you can pin to the wall. But when I got the prototypes of the maps you could pin to the wall, that wasn't what I was like. This ain't it. You know, I thought this be it, but now that I'm looking at it, holding it in my hand, this ain't it. And I was like, I think I'm gonna go with the stickers. Now, the thing about the sticker is, you can stick it somewhere, or you ain't got to peel it. You can just leave it, you know, where, and you can pin it to the wall like a regular map too. You know, that's your call. If you wanted the first 100 orders on March 1st, the town map shirt, whichever color you getting one of them 4x4 map stickers with it. And that's how that goes. So keep an eye out and an ear out for that. I'll be posting updates probably on the Facebooks, on the Instagrams. And if you ain't on either of those, it'll probably be on the TikToks too, and it'll be on the what's the other one? The YouTubes. And then also, it'll probably be on the website, tabandiller.com, and then text message. I'll probably text y'all when it's ready to go. Like, hey, today's the day, or tonight's the night, it's going live if you want to be one of the first 100, So text message is the way to go. Check on my website. That stays updated too. So any of those, if you're like, how in the world am I going to keep track of this? Well, I try to make it pretty easy, on any of them platforms, as they say. So you can check the show notes today for all this going on. Basically, what that's going to be is, since there ain't nothing to buy yet, I just have, the link to the merch that we do have available. And then we got my phone number, 501-322-6249, or you can text me, and the email, tabandiller@gmail.com. We'll do it like that. And if you need a personal greeting, heading into the end of February and March, and you got birthday or something like that, you want me to shoot a video for somebody that link will be there too. So that's what's going on. Now, I have mentioned a couple of times lately, we're getting the details dialed in, but I will be in Wichita Falls, Texas on May 31st. So if you remotely in that area, I think there's a lot going into this show. Let me put it to you like this. Like this is a pretty big deal. The tickets will start going on sale in March. And there's going to be VIP tickets, because there's going to be like an after party, which is a donut party, in Wichita Falls, if you want to be a part of that. So anyhow, keep an ear out for that. So you can just be in touch on the social medias. For sure, a lot of times stuff gets posted in the stories on Instagrams of what's coming up. And I'll probably make videos letting folks know what's going on too. So again, there's all them ways to see what's going on. But if you just like, well, I ain't heard, I can't find nothing anywhere, just shoot me a text message and I'll holler back at you. That's how that go. So that's a lot of what they call a housekeeping. But today I want to let y'all know about Myron Curtis. You know Myron. I know Myron. I wouldn't expect him to put together a fundraiser, but I also wouldn't put it by him. And y'all guys, he put together a fundraiser. And then also, I want to let y'all know what happened at the banquet at the Nursin'Home last week for the Valentine's, because it wasn't Valentine's yet, so the Valentine's banquet ain't happened yet. So now it's kind of a recap of what went down there. You ever had to do a fundraiser or go do it, or just go to one? Like maybe you had to do it or you got to do it, depending on how fun it was to you or how much you like that kind of thing. It's just how you look at it. Now, so much in life, it's like, well, it's depending on how you look at it. I remember as a kiddo, folks that sell candy bars and all that, and they give it to all the elementary school kids. They say, go sell candy bars, and then you win a prize if you sell enough of them, kind of thing. Kind of like them arcade prizes where you spend $40 on games and you can redeem your tickets, like 50 tickets for a $2 toy. I mean, that's smart, boy. That's Alvin Einstein's type of thing. People do the arcade business. Like, boy, let's have them spend $40, $60, $100 in video games, and they walk away with a kazoo that they redeemed, them tickets for or whatever. But anyhow, sometimes you in a group that has you stand outside stores, sell that stuff that they already got inside the store. It don't matter how, like, oh, I'm selling these chocolate bars nobody ever heard of the name of, but I know you got Snickers inside that everybody knows and loves for half the price of this overpriced candy bar, kind of thing. It don't matter how. The point is you trying to earn money for your group or your cause, so you ain't trying to say we got the best chocolate bars at the best price. You just trying to say, hey, I'm trying to earn this for my group or my cause or that kind of thing. So anyway, my buddy Myron Curtis, he's looking to raise some money. Now, you probably asking what I was asking, which is, what are you raising money for, Myron? Well, you might know that he's a snack delivery driver. Folks call him Bean Dip. Not me, I just call him Myron Curtis. But other folks like that nickname for him. I don't really know if Myron cares one way or another. I ain't never take the time to ask him. But he drive that snack delivery truck, deliver all kind of snacks, and that's how he got the name. But that ain't even what he's fundraising for. I'm just like telling you, if for some reason you just dropped into this podcast out of nowhere and you're like, who in the world's Myron Curtis? Well, he's a buddy of mine, plays on Team Burger Shed softball team with me, and he's dating Mary Beth Tucker. That's my friend Russell Tucker's little sister. She works at the veterinary, and Myron got a moped, and he'll take Mary Beth Tucker to Bickham's All-You-Can-Eat Catfish Buffet sometime on the back of that moped. And they steady test that weight limit, and they had more than one accident where he had to lay that thing down and she's steady rolling through somebody's front yard like a sausage ball through breadcrumbs, but they get back up, brush themselves off, and make sure they ain't late for that buffet. Well, he wants to start something. He wants to start a business. That's why Myron's fundraising. He wants to start a business. He wants to start a paddle boat business. Paddle boat. I think that's what they called. Maybe it's a pedal boat because they got pedals in them. But I'm going to call it a paddle boat because that's what he called it. And that's what I think it's called. But out at the lake, it's one of them boats, you drop it in the water and they like side by side and two people can be in there, and then down by your feet is these little pedals and you pedal them like it's away, and it moved that boat. And I think there's a little thing where a little rudder, and you move it back and forth so you can turn that thing so you just ain't going straight, the whole time because you got to get back to shore. That's how it goes. So he been talking to Rance Farnhart. Rance plays on Team Burger Shed too. Now, softball season ain't cranked up, for the spring, summer season yet. But Rance is out there by the lake anyway. He runs fishing clips. It's the bait and tackle shop. It's also a restaurant. It's also where he gives haircuts. Really good fish and chips and pretty decent haircuts. And so he's been talking because Rance, they own the restaurant out there. Rance do. I guess him and his wife technically, but Rance run it. And then 100 yards from that's Donnie Wayne Chambliss's repair shed. Now that don't have nothing to do with what I'm saying, except that Rance is out there by the lake. And if Rance owned that property out there, then if Myron wants to have some sort of paddle boat on that property, he gonna have to talk to Rance, and they come up with some kind of deal. And they buddies, and so they was talking about figuring out the cost on all that. Well, and they might have to have like a storage shed out there to keep them during the off season, all that, just business talk. He had to have business talk with Rance. Myron Curtis and Rance talking business about them paddle boats. Plus, he's going to have to buy paddle boats. And I guess he priced that out too. He's talking about starting with 2 and seeing how that goes, and that made sense to me. Like, you don't want to buy a whole team or a whole herd or a whole flock. I don't know what they call them in paddle boatology, but you don't want to buy like 10, 20 paddle boats when you don't know if anybody even want them. And 20 sounds like a little bit of overkill, even if it's vacation season. Firstly, we ain't a vacation town, so it's not like people flock in different times of the year because of the weather or nothing like that. And then B, it's like just ain't a high population either, so it don't make sense for you to get 20. At least right now. I mean, maybe that changed. So what's Myron doing for a fundraiser? You might be asking that at this point. Well, he want to do a bake sale. Only thing is, who wants to buy baked goods from Myron? Not me. And how many cupcakes you got to sell to buy a paddle boat? And he wants to buy 2 paddle boats. He don't bake, so I don't know how that's going to go. But I'm thinking like this way. Let's say you buy like a box of cupcake mix. I think that's a thing. And then you make them cupcakes, and then you got to buy icing because I know they don't put icing in a box. I found that out the hard way years ago. And so let's say icing's $1.50, and you can find $1.75 cupcake box. So you in it for, oh boy, now I'm gonna make myself do math. Probably $4. I don't know. And then how much you sell a cupcake for 50 cents? $1, 75 cents. I don't know how many you got to sell to buy a paddle boat. I mean, I'm just thinking you wanted a timing with the cupcakes, Myron. First of all, where are you going to set up to sell them? Which I found out, and I'm going to tell y'all in a second. And then how much you sell them for, and how many you got to sell. You got to sell like 2,000 cupcakes to get yourself one paddle boat? I don't know. I ain't done the math, but I'm trying to think how you going to do this. So Myron don't bake, like I said, but you know who does? His gal, Mary Beth Tucker. And you might know that she has perfected her mama's recipe of hot butter dinner rolls that is softer than a baby angel's leg. So Myron was going to set up a couple spots in town and do that fundraising instead of slinging them hot butter dinner rolls that Mary Beth made. And maybe he's helping her make them, learning the recipe kind of thing, because he's learning stuff. He learned how like a cookie recipe. I guess he's like, well, we ain't going to do all hot butter dinner rolls softer than baby angels. Like, I'm going to learn how to make chocolate chip cookie or something like that. And they don't have a food things anyways. So that way you got options. Folks like to see a little smorgasbord of different options there. So cookies. Thankfully, Shane and Cheryl Grubbs donated donuts from Donut goes to the cause too. So that good on them. I think they might have got a little excited about the old paddle boats too. So we got some what they call some momentum going on with the fundraiser. Like, well, at least there's things we know folks in town will buy. We know folks love them donuts. I mean, they good for your biceps, your triceps, your forceps, your interceps, your abominables, all these ham straps, everything, quadriceps, good, I mean, terrific strength for the haunches, them donuts. And then we know the town loves them hot butter dinner rolls softer than a baby angel's leg. And chocolate chip cookies, it's kind of like, yeah, who don't like them? So it seemed like, Myron's got a pretty good start here. He rocket about to launch, and he looked like he gonna have some pretty good trajectory. A rocket will direct into the sky, and it'll go so high, and hopefully he go high enough to get a couple paddle boats worth of sales. I don't know. So they set up in a couple of high traffic areas in town this week to fundraise. Rickard's grocery store, classic fundraising spot, right in front of the grocery store. That's the one that always confused me when somebody's like, "Hey, we doing a canned goods sale or like a canned food drive. Can we collect cans?" I'm thinking, turn around, buddy. You got a whole store full of them. Just go get some from there. I mean, you got to buy them. Maybe that's the thing. They want them for free. But, I mean, you selling stuff right outside. They got plenty of them in Rickard's grocery store, but it worked. And Bud's Burger Shed, that's the other place he's going to set up to fundraise. You heard of that place. The good news is the stuff Myron was selling wasn't at either place. Like Rickard's and Bud's, neither of them specialize in hot butter dinner roll softer than a baby angel's leg or donuts. Now, you're going to find cookies at Rickard's grocery store for sure, but it's more about the cause, like I said, than folks wanting a cookie. And they might find dinner rolls, but they ain't hot. And them donuts, yeah, you get them little powder donuts and little pre-packaged ones, but they don't compete with Donut Goes Donuts. I know that. You know that. The whole world knows that. At least that's what Myron was hoping, that everybody'd be fine with buying all three of them things these fundraisers set up in front of Rickard's grocery store and Bud's Burger Shed. But I'll tell you right now, he better be writing Mary Beth Tucker thank you card. Them hot butter dinner rolls that's softer than a baby angel's leg really brought out the wallets. Let me put it to you like that away. The wallets came out, them change purses came out, people unzipping the little change purse, fiddling through there, saying, "Oh, let me see, how much are they? Hold on, let me run back to my car, see if I got some in there under the seat or whatever." So it was good. Millie Ricks, she bought one right outside the burger shed, the hot butter dinner roll. She bought it right outside, but she was going in, so she basically eating that thing, and boy, they slide right down. You don't want to buy just one of them. I mean, they slide, they just go right down. All of a sudden, you're like, where'd that one go? I need 2 or 3 or 4 of them. I mean, they easy to eat and they quick to eat. Well, Millie, she bought one right outside the burger shed, grabbed the handle with that hand covered in butter. She had to wrestle that thing just to get it open. It's so slick. I mean, she had a palm full of butter. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, there wasn't a dry doorknob or door handle in town. Everybody picking up them hot butter dinner rolls and then heading into the post office, auto parts, Maggie's Flowers, Bickham's, you name it. Early bird gets the perm. Boy, they set a little thing of paper towels right outside the front door. Early bird gets the perm just so somebody can wipe their hands off before they come in there. Walmart's is probably glad they got them automatic doors because there's buttered fingers all over town. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how much money Myron made, but I do know that Delma Spencer stood next to him at Rickard's grocery store and chatted with Myron for about 5 minutes and then demanded payment because she helped. Quote, end quote. She's like, I helped you, Myron. You need to give me some of that money. He's like, Delma, you stood here and just hung out and talked to me. That's all you did. I didn't ask for your help. I didn't ask for your conversation. Now you expecting me to pay you? That ain't how this works. No, you didn't, Delma. Come on. But in typical Delma fashion, she got a free hot butter dinner roll softer than a baby angel's leg just so she'd go away. I don't know why folks in town think paying off Delma is a way to do it. Because look, we got a whole pattern here. That's her whole thing. That's how she operates. I'm going to come in. I'm going to ask for something free. If I don't get it, I'm going to cause a fuss. I'm going to throw my kids' baby teeth in the frozen section of the Rickard's grocery store, them little bloody stubby teeth. And Kevin Rickard's going to throw up, and then he going to give me a gallon of ice cream. I'd like to say that never happened, but I know as well as you know that that did happen. Now, I ain't been looking at the books, so I don't know how much money Myron made, but it looked like he is on the way to get a paddle boat. I think some folks just wrote checks just to help because they're so excited about the paddle boats. That's the thing about fundraisers, right? If folks like what your cause is, what you going for, they may be like, nah, I don't need that chocolate chip cookie, but I'll help you out. So you got some of that going on. People get excited about something new like that. They could envision themselves out on the lake, piddle paddling away on the paddle boats, like a beautiful little relaxing day. Not really fishing. I guess you could take one out to fish in if you ain't got a human and bass boat or don't want to fish on the bank, but it's just for kind of recreation, is the way I understood it. Now, I can't assume, like I said, that you know what a paddle boat is. Millie Ricks, she just thought it was a regular bass boat that you paddle. And she said, why would anybody pay for that? Plenty of folks already got a boat. Cheryl Grubbs thought it was a paddle board, which is different too. She learned about them on the Travel Channel or something like that. Like you stand up on the board and then you paddle, like you got to orbit you standing up, like you by yourself. And that's a little more work, a lot more work, because you stand in first place. And then you stand on something that ain't got walls on it, like ain't got sides, like a boat do. And then you paddling, so you steady working your arms and your legs by standing. That's some work, and that ain't what Myron's looking to do. No, the paddle boat has pedals, like I said, like a bike. Pedal, pedal, pedal. And you just sitting down. So it's a little bit of exercise depending on how far you want to go in the water and how fast you want to get there. Sounds like Myron's going to be able to get a couple, though, maybe. Them two. He had a goal for two, and it sounds like he might get two paddle boats. So, we got something to look forward to this spring if this fundraiser is really successful as he's saying he thinks it was. And folks is ready to line up, to piddle paddle around that lake. How's that going to affect the folks fishing? I do not know. I don't know if it's going to be some sort of paddle boat, fishing boat war, or folks going to be able to get along. Or maybe, Rance Planet, where he say, this weekend is paddle boat day, so there ain't going to be a tournament out there. And if you fishing, just know you're going to have to work around paddle boaters. I don't know. I ain't in the ins and outs of them conversations. I ain't part of that business deal, know-how. So that's how that is. What I do know is that the Nursin'Home had a Valentine's banquet last week, and they had a vote for king and queen of the Nursin'Home, like Valentine, king and queen. I don't know if you ever did that in the elementary schools, but I remember that you hand out Valentines to everybody and scratch and sniff stickers, that kind of thing, and then somebody's like, oh, you the king of the third grade, and this is the queen of the third grade, and y'all gonna stand in front of the class and get a picture, and then it's recess time or whatever. Well, they do that at the nursing home, kind of full circle. You little kid, you do that, and then when you in a nursing home, they're like, well, let's do it again. Who's the king and queen? I don't even know if the residents vote anymore. I think the nurses pick who they is. This year, now, I don't know the criteria for like what it takes to be king or queen, but they picked Dewey Morton and Doreen Fundle as king and queen of the nursing home. Now, I don't think I have to tell you this, but Dewey and Doreen may be just two of the biggest troublemakers in the nursing home. So I'm not sure how that go. Maybe they got picked so they'd stay focused on the event's festivities and not try to escape or steal sheet cake, take it back to their room in their sweat britches. I'm talking to you, Doreen. And when I say taking it back in their sweat britches, I ain't meaning, oh, they wearing sweat britches and they carrying sheet cake back. No, she steady shoving pieces of sheet cake in the pockets of them sweat britches. That's what you worried about Doreen Fundle doing. That's what I'm telling you. So now I'm thinking, are you just saying Dewey and Doreen are king and queen? That way all the attention's on them, so you got way more eyes. It's like you hired citizens police or, them undercover deputies where everybody is looking at them because they in front of the whole mess hall getting their awards. And so everybody can keep an eye on them so they ain't trying to escape, and Dewey ain't trying to hide under the ping pong table in the recreation room or nothing like that. I don't know. But Dewey's tried to escape. Doreen's a mess. They both into pranks and just kind of hijinks. So it's like, they ain't star students. They ain't star residents at a nursing home like Attaway. But one way or another, whatever it was that you would vote for king and queen, they got that. And now they king and queen. So Doreen loves that sheet cake. Of course, if you ask her, she'll say it's Captain Thunderboot's favorite snack. Sure, Doreen. That's like Mimo when she sent me into town for a king-size Snicker bar saying Rachel Christine needs a little baby doll snack. She's going to have a baby doll tea party for Beatrice Gail Merton, Becky Thacker Haynes, Rachel Christine, and all them. I'm like, sure, Mimo, they got the same taste you do. Ain't that funny? And I'm pretty sure they ain't got digestive systems, but you can't go too long with Mimo on that. I can only go a couple of rounds and I just have to step out of there. Well, if that was the reason, you know, like they wanted Dewey and Doreen to win so that everybody keep an eye on them, it sure didn't help. Or that Doreen and Dewey would behave, because none of that helped. Dewey went missing before the bingo game, and he wasn't found till 5 minutes before they announced the king of the nursing home. How they didn't notice that Dewey was missing, I'll never know. But they found him in a janitor closet, standing in a mop bucket, full of soapy water, shoes on, just snickering like it's such a funny thing. He loved to snicker. He a prankster. I feel like he pulled a prank on himself. I mean, how are you winning, Dewey, if you standing in a dark closet, janitor closet, in soapy mop water with your shoes on? How are you winning? I don't know, but he thought it's funny. His shoes were so full of water, they had to take them off inside the bucket. It's too heavy. Otherwise, they couldn't get him out. Cricket's the one who found him, and she asked him what he was doing. He just snickered. Boy, he thought it's so funny. Boy, he's really pulling one on everybody. That's probably the most frustrating thing about Dewey. He talks. He talks just fine, but when it comes to explaining his hijinks, he just snickers. He just snicker about it. And I can't believe they think enough to work in tandem together. I can't believe that Dewey and Doreen would get it together enough to figure out a plan. But while he's ankle deep in a mop bucket, Doreen's getting out of the mess hall with a whole, I don't know, 5-6 pieces of sheet cake in her sweat breeches. So I don't know if he ran interference, you know, created a diversion while everybody goes to try to find Dewey in a mop closet, whatever, that Doreen's taking off with sheet cake, that she don't need that much. She can't have that much sugar. So now all of a sudden, the folks who was supposed to be winning king and queen had to go get showered and cleaned up, and she had to put on a new pair of sweat breeches, and they got to turn them inside out and pull them pockets out, because you know that ice and them crumbs, they get deep in there, deep in the seams kind of thing. And then they get to talking to, you know, they tell them what for, you know, the nurses, Cricket, all them folks say, you can't do that, that ain't right, you need to be respectable, you can't be stealing, you can't be hiding. That ain't how royalty acts. That kind of thing, you know. So, Cricket and I, we had to celebrate Valentine's early last week, you know, because she had to work on Valentine's, and that was her Valentine experience. Dewey Morton standing in soapy mop water inside a dark janitor's closet snickering, and Doreen Fundle sweat breeches full of sheet cake. Happy Valentine's, Cricket. So she had all that. She's earning every penny down there at the nursing home. I'll tell you that. Captain Thunderboots didn't get any sheet cake. No surprise there. Maybe they all need a field trip. I don't think so, but if they do, I know where some paddle boats is going to be parked. I can tell you that. But that'd be a nightmare. Now, Cricket will take them out to the spring picnic, you know, but they do that in town. They do that out. They don't do that up by water. You don't really want to take like a kindergarten class to a lake or a nursing home field trip to a lake. I just don't think, you asking for trouble is the way I see it. But I don't know. Dewey Morton in a paddle boat don't get me excited. I'll tell you that right now. You might remember what he did with the riding lawnmower around Halloween's. They caught him up behind like Thunder Punch out there. Anyhow, plenty going on. Plenty going on in town. We'll be peekabooing into March, like I said, pretty soon. Not next week. Next week we still into February's. And then it's bank, peekaboo March. And then we'll see. I don't know the timeline, like I said, but it sounds like paddle boats is in the future this spring out on the lake. So that'll be a hoot of a time if you coming through town and looking for some recreation. You might want to head up to Fishing Clips, and you might say, Tabin, I don't know where Fishing Clips is. Oh, you might want to get a town map shirt then, coming out on March 1st. You know where Fishing Clips is in relation to, well, Donnie Wayne Chambliss' repair shed is pretty close there. And then even Chet Dilroy's, now he lives so far out of town, it's just an arrow that says Chet's, you know, is that way. Same with Mort Dwydell, you know, he got a front yard trampoline. You'll see an arrow saying, you know, Mort's is out that way. But, I mean, Early Bird Gets the Perms on there, Burger Shed, Maggie's Flowers, Bickham's All You Can Eat Catfish Buffet, Donut Goes, Sutter Me Up, you know, Donnie Wayne Chambliss and the old laundromat that he's running. Gilbert Phillips works there. That's Chlorine Phillips' boy. And he ain't a boy, he's a full-grown man, beat up an adult bull moose. You probably know about that, maybe. Unless this is your first time listening to podcasts, you might want to go back a little bit, but it don't matter no how. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Uptown Gal, Mort Dwydell's wife runs that. That's on the map, too. Chancellor Park, the trailer park where I live, you'll see where that is. Softball fields, the concession stand. You know what I did? On Imogene Watkins' house, I just drawed a black nanner. So you'd know where the Watkins live, her and Raymond. Millie Rick's house is on there. Hank Thistle has burn piles on the town map shirt. So, I mean, there's a lot there. I feel like I said every single thing that's on that shirt just now. I ain't sure, but anyhow, if you interested, boy, keep an ear to the ground for the March 1st, because it's going to be the first 100 orders. You ain't just getting the shirt, but you getting that 4x4 town map sticker too. So plenty going on and plenty to look forward to, and I sure am glad you joined me here. If you're on Apple iTunes, just rate it. If you could give it a rating, we creeping on 1,000 ratings there, and all that does is tell folks, hey, there's folks that not only listen to this podcast, but they like it, and that helps it. If you're like, there ain't nothing I can do, Tavin, I can't do nothing for you. You could hit like, you could like it on whatever platform you listen on. You could leave me a comment, and you can shoot me a text. Let me know what you thought of it. I appreciate all that. So thank you. Thank y'all for joining me here on the Tavin Dillard podcast. I appreciate y'all. I guess I better get out of here this week, y'all. The sun's starting to think about coming out in my neck of the woods. Maybe it is wherever you are. I know I got folks and friends that listen all around the world. But in the United States of the Americas, in the state of Arkansas, we had some snow recently. We had some cold weather, a lot of clouds, but we had some sun too. So there's a lot of weather that I'm hoping is going to be good lawn mowing weather here pretty soon. So I appreciate y'all. And hey, if you ain't had to follow Millie Ricks into the burger shed this week after she just covered that door handle in butter, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is the Tavin Dillard podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.